How to disappear and transform yourself. Everyone knows your old story, your failures, your limitations, your past mistakes. They've put you in a box, assigned you a role, and they expect you to stay there. Meanwhile, you want to change. You want to evolve. You want to become someone completely different. But you can't transform into a new person, while everyone around you is reinforcing who you used to be. This is why transformation requires disappearance. Not running away, not avoiding responsibility. Strategic withdrawal from the systems, people, and patterns that keep you locked in your old identity. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to disappear from your current reality and re-emerge as the person you're capable of becoming. This isn't theory. This is the psychology of radical personal transformation, backed by neuroscience, and proven by everyone who's ever successfully reinvented themselves. You don't need permission to disappear, you just need the courage to do it. Why disappearance is necessary. Research from social psychology shows that people resist others' attempts to change because change disrupts their mental models and requires them to update their perceptions. It's easier to keep you in the box they've created than to acknowledge you've outgrown it. Your family knows you as the person you were at 18. Your friends expect behaviors you've outgrown. Your co-workers see the version of you from 3 years ago. Every interaction reinforces that old identity. You can't become new while surrounded by constant reminders of who you were. Transformation requires space, distance, disappearance. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote that you can create solitude anywhere, including within your own mind. But sometimes physical removal accelerates what mental discipline starts. Every butterfly disappears into a chrysalis before transformation. You're no different. The psychology of identity transition. Neuroscience research shows that identity is maintained through repetition and social reinforcement. Your brain literally creates neural pathways that encode "this is who I am" based on consistent patterns and social feedback. To change identity, you must break those patterns and remove that reinforcement. This requires disappearance from environments and relationships that continuously activate your old self. Studies on behavior change show that environmental triggers are more powerful than willpower. You can decide to change, but if you're in the same environment, with the same people doing the same things, your brain will default to established patterns. Disappearance creates the environmental disruption necessary for neural rewiring. New place, new people, new routines. Your brain has no choice but to form new pathways. This isn't weakness, this is understanding how your brain actually works and designing conditions for successful transformation. Strategy 1. Cut the audience. You're performing for an audience every day. Parents, friends, colleagues, social media followers, everyone who knows your story and expects consistency with past chapters. The first step to disappearance is eliminating the audience. Not forever, just during transformation. Delete or deactivate social media. Stop announcing your plans. Stop updating people on your life. Stop seeking validation for your changes. Research from behavioral psychology shows that announcing goals actually reduces the likelihood of achieving them because you get premature satisfaction from others' approval without doing the work. Disappear digitally first. No posts, no stories, no broadcasts. Let people wonder, let them speculate, let them forget about you entirely. While they're living their public lives, you're privately building your new one. When you re-emerge, it won't be with announcements. It will be with undeniable results. Strategy 2. Geographic reset. The most powerful form of disappearance is physical relocation. New city, new country, somewhere nobody knows your story. This isn't running away. This is strategic positioning for transformation. When nobody knows who you were, you're free to become who you want to be. Research on environmental psychology shows that geographic change accelerates identity transformation because all your environmental cues are disrupted simultaneously. Nothing triggers old patterns because nothing is familiar. You don't have to move permanently. Even 3 to 6 months in a new place can catalyze profound change. You're forced to build new routines, meet new people, create new patterns. The person who returns isn't the person who left. Not because the location changed you, but because the location gave you permission to change yourself. Strategy 3. Eliminate old inputs. You are what you consume. Information, media, content, conversations. All of it shapes your thinking, beliefs, and identity. To transform, you must eliminate inputs that reinforce your old self and replace them with inputs that build your new self. Stop consuming content related to your old interests if they don't serve your new direction. Stop following people who represent what you're moving away from. Stop engaging with information that reinforces who you were. Neuroscience research on neuroplasticity shows that what you focus attention on literally shapes your brain structure. Your neural pathways form around your consistent mental diet. Curate your inputs ruthlessly. Books, podcasts, videos, conversations, all aligned with who you're becoming. none connected to who you were. The Stoics called this guarding your mind. Epictetus taught that you must be selective about what you allow into your consciousness, because everything leaves an impression. Strategy 4. The silent grind. Disappearance means working in silence. No announcements, no progress updates, no seeking encouragement or approval. You're building skills, knowledge, business, body, character, whatever your transformation requires, completely privately. Research shows that social accountability can help with simple goals, but hinders complex transformations. The more radical your change, the more private it needs to be. Why? Because people will doubt you, project their limitations onto you, tell you it's impossible. Their skepticism becomes internal resistance you have to fight. Eliminate that fight by eliminating the audience. Let your results speak. Let your transformation be the announcement. While everyone else is posting about their intentions, you're quietly executing. While they're seeking validation for efforts, you're accumulating undeniable results. 6 months of silent, focused work accomplishes more than 6 years of announced intentions and public struggle. Strategy 5. Shed old relationships strategically. This is the hardest part. Some relationships must end or transform for you to transform. Not because these people are bad, because they're invested in who you were. They reinforce old patterns. They trigger old behaviors. They're psychologically incompatible with who you're becoming. Research on social contagion shows that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their habits, beliefs, limitations, and possibilities all influence yours. If your closest relationships are people who knew you at your worst, who remind you of your failures, who expect you to stay consistent with past performance, they're anchors preventing transformation. Strategic disappearance means creating distance, not dramatic confrontation, just gradual intentional distancing. Stop initiating contact, become less available. Let relationships naturally fade as you invest energy in building your new self. The right people for your new life don't exist in your old one. You'll find them after transformation, not during. Strategy 6. Create a new identity container. Disappearance isn't just removal, it's replacement. You're not just leaving the old, you're building the new. Create a complete identity container for who you're becoming. New name if you want. Definitely new routines, new standards, new non-negotiables. Research on identity-based habits shows that behavior change is most sustainable when anchored to identity. I am a person who is more powerful than I want to. Define your new identity explicitly. Write down exactly who this person is, how they think, how they act, what they value, what they never do. Then inhabit that identity completely in your disappeared state. Nobody's watching, nobody's judging. You're free to fully embody your new self without resistance. By the time you re-emerge, it's not performance, it's who you actually are now. Strategy 7. The chrysalis period. Transformation isn't instant. It requires a chrysalis period where you're neither who you were nor who you're becoming. You're in between, dissolving and reforming. This period is psychologically difficult. You've left your old identity but haven't fully developed your new one. You're isolated, working, building, unseen. Research on liminal states shows this in-between period is essential for deep transformation, but creates significant psychological stress. You must endure without abandoning the process. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the necessity of solitude and difficulty in forging character. The chrysalis period isn't comfortable. It's not supposed to be. Expect loneliness. Expect doubt. Expect moments of wanting to return to familiar patterns. This is the metamorphosis process. You're supposed to feel like you're dissolving because parts of you are. Trust the process. Stay disappeared. Keep building. The butterfly doesn't emerge before transformation is complete. Strategy 8. Document everything privately. While you're disappeared publicly, document everything privately. Journal, track, measure, photograph, record. Not for social media, for yourself. To see the transformation happening when doubt creeps in. Research shows that self-monitoring significantly increases goal achievement and sustains motivation during difficult periods. You need evidence of progress when external validation is absent. Write down who you were and who you're becoming. Track every small improvement. Document every old pattern you break and new habit you build. This private documentation becomes the story you'll eventually tell. Not during transformation, but after, when the results are undeniable. The re-emergence. Disappearance has a purpose, transformation. But transformation has a completion, re-emergence. You don't announce your return, you simply show up as the new version. Different body, different skills, different mindset, different results, different life. The people who knew you before won't recognize who you've become. That's the point. You're not the person they knew. You're someone entirely different who shares a past, but not an identity with your former self. Some will celebrate your transformation, some will resent it, Some will claim they always knew you could do it. Some will say you've changed in negative ways. None of it matters. You didn't transform for their approval, you transformed for yourself. The Stoic truth. Seneca wrote that you cannot discover new lands while keeping one foot on the shore. Transformation requires complete departure from what was. You can't become new while clutching old identities, old relationships, old patterns. Disappearance is the necessary first step. This isn't about being mysterious or dramatic. This is about creating the psychological and environmental space required for genuine transformation. Everyone who has ever radically transformed themselves had a disappearance period, a time when they withdrew, worked in silence, built themselves in private, and re-emerged completely different. Buddha disappeared into meditation, Jesus into the desert. Every hero's journey has the stage where the protagonist leaves the familiar world, faces trials alone, and returns transformed. You're no different. Your transformation requires your disappearance. Your decision. You're at a choice point. Continue trying to transform while surrounded by everything keeping you the same. Or disappear, do the work in silence, and re-emerge undeniably different. Most people choose the first option because it feels safer. They announce transformations publicly, seek support from people invested in their old identity, and wonder why change feels impossible. A few choose strategic disappearance. They understand that radical transformation requires radical environmental change. They're willing to be uncomfortable, isolated, and unseen, while they build who they're becoming. The choice reveals who actually wants transformation versus who just wants to talk about transformation. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you ready to disappear and transform? What version of yourself are you building in private? Or are you still trying to change while surrounded by everything keeping you the same? Drop a comment below. If this video gave you permission to disappear and finally transform yourself, hit that like button. It helps others who are ready for radical change discover this message. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content on transformation, Stoic wisdom, and the psychology of becoming who you're capable of being. Share this video with someone contemplating major life changes, but afraid to take the first step. Sometimes people need to know that disappearance isn't abandonment. It's preparation for transformation. Thank you for watching. Your transformation is waiting, but it requires you to disappear first. Let go of who you were. Build who you're becoming. Re-emerge undeniable. I'll see you in the next video.